Neutral Zone Infraction / that Mediocre Sports Show. Only half my head's on the camera.
Yeah, it's like
We're in the middle of a snowstorm. I don't know if you can see.
we're on our way to Cincinnati to watch the Bengals beat the Steelers.
I'm wearing a Steelers jersey only because I lost.
Jinx them.
That and I lost a bet.
Lost a bet. Sorry, Steeler fans. This is Bengals country for a day.
For a day, and people were mocking me and judging me, and I didn't like it.
It's cold in Cincinnati. We're parked. We're hoping to see Ben Roethlisberger because we parked in front of a high school. So we're hoping to see Ben Roethlisberger as he tries to pick up a woman.
Oh my God, no, you didn't.
So it's like we're thinking he might end up over there somewhere.
Oh my God.
So
that just sounds wrong.
So Ben,
you realize there's going to be a bunch of police cars now searching out high schools.
They probably will be. They're probably going to be at the high school going, Ben, and it's in Cincinnati, so they're not going to be fans of yours, Ben. You're not going to get off like you always do in Pittsburgh. You might get off like you do in Pittsburgh if you don't get caught, but that's something else.
Okay, anyway, today we're just gonna just do some things that are really crazy. Like, first of all, we're gonna predict who we think is gonna win these games and maybe why. And I don't even know. I just got in this stranger's car because it's really cold.
It's really cold out here.
Thanks for picking me up.
I got.
He honked the horn twice like GTA, and I got in.
It's like I so thought you were something else.
Okay, you gotta start. You're getting up.
Okay, so first game. Let's talk about Pittsburgh Cincinnati. Who do we really think is actually going to win this game?
Sadly, we do think that. I think Pittsburgh.
I think Pittsburgh will win if Dalton, by some miracle, plays and he's healthy enough with the throwing arm. He'll win. But if it's A.J. McCarron, I just don't believe that they'll have enough offense. It is going to be a defensive game because it's going to be cold. Neither team is going to be able to. The Cincinnati defense is good enough to stop Pittsburgh's offense for the most part.
I like their defense so much.
But I think that the Pittsburgh defense will be good enough to stop A.J. McCarron.
Yeah. You know,
so
Cincinnati.
Unfortunately, I won't tell any of the Steelers fans that to their face. But yes, I do think the Steelers will win that game.
I like. There's a couple guys on Cincinnati that I'm kind of rooting for. Number 94, he's on the defense. He's been there as long as I can remember. He's got that long old hair.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name, but he's been there. There have been some other players, but he comes to mind as one that's been there the longest to me. Anyway, I'd like to see. I don't dislike Marvin Lewis.
No, I don't dislike anything on the Cincinnati Bengals. I just don't think without Andy Dalton, they don't have a good track record of winning playoff games anyway.
But they
and without Andy Dalton, it's worse. They're not going to be able to do it. Let's go. Let's just move on quickly. Green Bay versus Washington.
I am going with Green Bay.
It's like, I'm actually going to pick the Redskins in this one. I think that the offensive woes that we've seen from. It's not Rodgers' fault. He's just got nobody that can get open. And in the playoffs, it's a different atmosphere. I think the wide receivers are going to be less open. I think Kirk Cousins is playing pretty good. It's sad to say, but I'm taking Kirk Cousins' team over Aaron Rodgers' team, and it's like Rodgers. It's like he's not going to win.
So he's saying you'll have time to do a discount double check, Aaron.
Yeah, you will not have time to do a discount double check because let's face it, there's no time. You're gonna get sacked a few times. You're gonna get hurt. Well, So what do you think?
I think I'm pulling for Green Bay because I just can't see. I mean, I think Green Bay will win. I don't believe in Washington. I think Aaron's gonna come around and he's probably gonna get some.
And if Green Bay wins, I'm good. I'm fine with Green Bay. I like Aaron Rodgers. I like Aaron Rodgers, so I'm good with him.
Move on, and then I'm gonna make a point.
Okay, let's move on to we did Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. What's the other AFC game? That'd be Houston, Kansas City. It's in Houston. Oh. Houston kind of won a weak division, like Washington won their weak division. Kansas City is playing pretty well.
Kansas City's gonna win.
Boy, I hate to admit it, but yes, I think Kansas City will win that game.
Their inept offense, which they have, will still be inept because the Houston does have a decent defense. Well, a couple players, but I think Kansas City's defense is really, really good.
By what they say, they're supposed to have Tamba Ali and Houston back. That's two really good pass rushers. Brian Hoyer is the quarterback for, and say what you want about Alex Smith, I'd rather have Alex Smith over Brian Hoyer. So, and Jeremy Macklin's playing really well. I just think that the offense is clicking right now. The only thing is, it is an Andy Reid coach team, and they're not that successful in the playoffs. They can win that first game, so I'm going to give them that. The next game, Kansas City will probably lose, but I will give them the first one over
me too.
Houston. Now we're going to move on to Seattle, Minnesota. It's in Minnesota. They were the division winners. Seattle is one of those teams that's like they're up, they're down.
It's in a dome.
No, it's not. It's outside in Minnesota. It's supposed to be 1 degree.
Wait a minute.
They're playing at the University of Minnesota. The Hubert H. Humphrey Dome got torn down. They are playing at the University of Minnesota.
How did I miss this? I watch our show. Why weren't we covering this shit? This is
they tore it down, and they are building Minnesota a new stadium, and it's going to be an outdoor stadium that they're building them.
Okay, when I was a little kid, real quickly, Minnesota Vikings were my favorite team. I can give you all the players. They played outdoors. Bud Grant had a rule. He was the coach of the Vikings. You want to stay warm? You play hard. They didn't put heaters. It was brutal for the teams coming in. I am so glad to see Minnesota go back outdoors. Yep. And you know what? Because they're going back out, they're playing outdoors.
They're playing outdoors.
I pick Vikings. You're Vikings. I went a little overboard there.
I am going to pick the Seattle Seahawks in that one. I think that the
shut the front door.
I think the MVP candidate Russell Wilson.
No, God, no, God, please.
And I got a little bit of trivia for you here, Sean. A little bit of trivia. It's like there's a quarterback. He's thrown for 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, and rushed for over 500 yards. There's only one quarterback in NFL history who's done it. You know who he is?
You're gonna tell me Russell Wilson?
It's Russell Wilson. The only guy in NFL history.
This year?
This year.
What?
4,000 yards he threw for, 30 touchdowns, and he rushed for over 500 yards. Tell me that is not an MVP candidate.
First of all, I got to tell you something.
I talked to Rolf.
Okay, because you are sucking at the information on our show, because I watch our show, and I've got none of this. I'm going to have to use other sports shows now to get my information.
I got that information from Rolf.
Are you telling me that?
And he told me to tell you that. 4,000 yards.
I know why he said that.
Yeah, because of the Facebook thing.
I did go on Facebook. God, I shouldn't go on Facebook with a buzz.
So see, that's why. So I told Rolf that I would throw that kind of in your face.
Rolf, I apologize if that's true, because you know what? I said Tom Brady, but I said Tom Brady not because everybody piles on Tom Brady and loves him like he's the greatest of the great. Well, he is, but the thing about Tom Brady this year that I was going to compare with Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady has done a lot with nothing. Again. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers had his go out, but he didn't do near what Tom Brady did. I know it's different teams, but I don't know if the Patriots' offensive line is any better than anybody else's lately. Their offensive line has been just... I got called to play just because I was big, and I promised to trip. But I'm just saying that that's amazing. And to me, what Russell Wilson did is amazing. I did not know that. And I could see if they gave it to him then.
Yeah. But the thing is, we all know Cam Newton is going to end up with that award. They're going to give it to Cam. I mean, it's already, I think the votes have already been cast. They're going to give that vote to, it's going to go to Cam Newton. And I don't think Cam Newton deserves it. I don't know. I don't think he...
Can we say this? It's not that he doesn't deserve it. I think Cam had a really good
That's true.
year.
It's not that he doesn't. I think that Russell Wilson played better. Russell Wilson lost his top running back in Marshawn Lynch. That's a running team, and he lost his receiving tight end in Graham, and he excelled once those two guys were out of the lineup. He got better when they were out of the lineup.
Yeah, but you know what? Again, if they were to win the Super Bowl, I might go there.
Yeah.
But I still, again, I think they picked the MVPs or give the Heisman.
They've already cast their votes. The votes have already been cast.
See, it's like the Heisman. I don't think the Heisman should be picked until after all the bowl games are done. Yeah. I'm not sure the MVP should be picked until after the Super Bowl is done, just in case that guy...
Well, but it's also a regular season award. They always say that the MVP trophy is a regular season award. It's not an award that's for the playoffs. It's like, basically, your Super Bowl MVP is your reward for the playoffs.
Okay, I get you. You know what? I don't have a problem with Wilson if he gets it. I just thought Brady had a year that was... he didn't have anyone to throw to.
No, but, just look at it. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, none of these guys had anybody to throw the football to. Then you look at our
Denver
team.
didn't either.
Well, we had guys that were dropping it all over the place.
No, they
but
were quarterbacks.
Well,
we decided, I think we did it on another show.
Yeah, we did.
The Marius Thomas and all these guys are probably playing cornerback now, and they're still dropping the balls and fumbling the balls. Our defense is good enough to go to the Super Bowl. Our defense is not good enough to cover 5 turnovers like it did against San Diego, against a decent team.
Yeah.
A playoff team. You can't do it. You can't expect a team to do that. So anyway, that's another week for another day for another week. But anyway, that's all I got.
Okay, so let's move on quick. Let's talk Johnny Manziel. I know I stole your essence. We got a few more minutes. I know I stole your essence, but my God, man. I did not realize that I stole your maturity as well. You are acting like a stupid little child. Knock it off. Grow up a little bit. You have a chance to play NFL quarterback because there's a lot of teams that still need somebody, even if you're as mediocre as you are.
And granted, Cleveland may not be a real NFL team, but they're working on it.
They're working on it, and you could have been their quarterback for the next 5 to 10 years because they're a mediocre franchise and you're a mediocre quarterback. You're a great fit. You could have worked to an 8-8 season.
I don't think you understand how good mediocre is. He is not mediocre.
You don't think he's mediocre?
Not at all. I think he's worse than mediocre. He's terrible.
Poor
mediocre is not. If you're mediocre at something, you're okay at it. So if you're an NFL quarterback, any NFL, help me, who's mediocre, you're okay at it. And he's not even okay.
Well, we just know that he needs to grow up. He needs to grow up. He's totally destroying his own career. He's doing it to himself.
You're going to end up in Dallas. You keep it up.
Oh, you're going to end up in Dallas behind Tony Romo. Because next year, Tony Romo won't get hurt. So, I'm sorry. You needed to be there this year. Tony Romo, he had his...
You did predict he would get hurt.
I predicted it. I predicted this was Tony Romo.
Do you think Denver is going to get... Do you think Peyton will be gone after this year no matter what? We're pretty sure on that. Do you think Denver will... If they don't... I think they'll sign Brock. But if they don't, do you think we go after Kaepernick or RG?
Depends on what the trade demands are. John has shown that he does not want to get rid of draft picks. He does not like letting draft picks go.
I don't blame you.
So, I mean, if they said Kaepernick for like a 6th round pick or RG3 for a 6th round pick, I think he's on board. Even if they did like a 6th round this year and a 6th round next year, I think he'd be on board. If you want anything 5th round and above for quarterbacks that have had some problems, he's probably going to sit there and go, I don't need it. It's like I'm gonna try to sign Brock. The problem is putting Peyton Manning back in front of Brock. Kind of, it's like, Brock. It wasn't Brock's fault that we were having all those problems. There was a lot of fumbling being done by a lot of other people.
A lot of people. I don't think people understand.
It's kind of. I never really understood why we pulled him out, but Kubiak said he had a feeling. He had a gut feeling that putting in Peyton would be better. And sometimes you got to go with your gut. But it's not Brock's fault. That game was not Brock's fault. They were fumbling the ball. That's not his fault.
You generally don't take a quarterback out like that for.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't take Peyton that well. They did eventually, but he had 4 turnovers.
Yeah, it took 4 turnovers of his own accord, 4 interceptions.
It was his accord. They were his.
Yeah, they were his.
And you
4
could tell
INTs.
how he threw. He was sucking.
Yeah.
But he did play better. I say it before. If he's healthy, if Peyton's healthy, he does give you a great chance to win. If he's healthy. Now, you made a great point today. You said if it's weather like this, cold, snowy, and I mean cold, you would play Brock. And I don't disagree with that. I think that Kubiak would be smart to think about that too.
Yeah, if it's bad weather, if it's really, really cold, Brock Osweiler proved that he could throw in cold weather. He could still sling it. It's like the problem is when it's cold, you got to grip the ball harder because it turns into a rock.
Unless you played it.
We're not going into that. But it's like Peyton's hand strength is not the same as it used to be, and he can't grip the ball as well when it's a solid rock. So Brock Osweiler still can, even in that cold weather in that New England game or whatever, he was still slinging it and doing pretty well. If it's a cold day, I'm sorry, I'd go to Peyton and say, I want to win this game. I'm putting in Brock.
And you know what? I would like to think that.
We got to get quick.
I would like to think he could accept that.
Yeah, he won't. He won't accept it. So we'll end on that. So it's like that's pretty much been.
Want me to touch it?
Sure, go ahead. Go for it. Touch it. Touch the button. Touch